drop a one the chat right now. Drop a one so I know you're with me. Let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. Whether you are watching this live right now or you caught the replay, you're exactly where you need to be today. I want to make yourself comfortable because we are about to have a real conversation today, and I promise this is going to be a very serious conversation. Not a soft one, not a political one, but a very correct one, a real one. So while more people are joining, drop your location in the chat where you're watching from. I want to see where the kings and the queens are tuning in from today. Drop your city, drop your country, let me see you. And if you are new to this channel, first of all, welcome. Hit that subscribe button right now because we do not play games here. We talk about real life, real mindset, real results. So subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into it. Okay, I can see people coming in. I see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's go. Let's start. So this is what we are talking about today, and I want you to hear me clearly before you form an opinion. Today, we are talking about what a man's real role is when it comes to women. And I'm going to say something that might make some of you uncomfortable, and that's okay, because comfort has never built anything. Here it is. Men are wasting massive amounts of time, energy, and mental power that's trying to understand that's women's feelings, trying to decode what she's thinking, trying to figure out why she is in a mood. And at that time, that energy could be building something else, could be changing their lives. Now, before anyone jumps into the chat saying I am misogynistic or I do not respect women, hear me out. Because this is not about disrespecting women. I love women. A woman raised me. So the women in my life matter me that's deeply. This is about that's clarity. This is about knowing your role and staying in it. So a man has three core responsibilities when it comes to a woman. Three, just three. So ensure you stick around so that at least we get to discuss these three core responsibilities that a man has that's towards a woman. So number one, a man should ensure that he protects a woman. Number two, a man should ensure that he provides for a woman. Then number three, a man should ensure that he communicates effectively, that's with his woman. So that's it. That's the job of a man. And when a man masters the three things, that's the ability to protect, ability to provide, and ability to effectively communicate, he has already played his major roles in a relationship. So when a man masters the three things, that's consistently, without apology, without begging for validation, everything else usually falls into place. But now what's happening today? Men are running around trying that's now to be therapists. That's towards women, trying to feel everything that she feels, trying to read that's her mind at 2 in the morning, losing sleep, losing focus, that's losing themselves, chasing emotional approval that they were never supposed to chase, that's in the first place. And now today, we are going to break all of that down. So this is going to be a long one, and I need you to stay because every minute you watch literally helps me build this channel. So do not go anywhere. Let's get into it. So I can see Janate Kangongo saying hi too. Norega is saying that I'm talking to myself at the moment. No, that's not true. No, I cannot give up. Without us communicating about this, then it means we are not educating each other. So it's better, at least we get to enlighten each other, we get to share ideas each other, and that's how the society gets to grow. So we are here to learn from each other, to enlighten each other. So giving up is not an option. Good. At least there is somebody who has supported me. That's JJ 2015. Yeah. So let's continue. So among us, the three pillars that I've talked about, the three pillars, the three roles a man that should play, that's now protecting a woman, providing for a woman, and ensuring there is effective communication that's in a relationship. So let's start discussing now what's this protecting that a man should practice towards his that's a wife. Now when most people hear the word protection, they immediately think physical. They think about fighting off attackers or keeping the house safe. And yes, of course, that's part of it. That's what a man should do. But protection usually goes so much deeper, more than that. So protection from a man is about creating an environment where a woman can do what? A woman can thrive. When a man shows up consistently, when he's stable, when he's present, when he brings peace and not chaos, that woman usually does what? Feels safe. And a woman who feels safe, she's a completely different woman. She's more softer, she's more open, and she's more connected. So, but here is what I want you to notice. Protection is usually an action when it comes from a man. You do not feel safe. You create safety. That's as a man. You do not wish safety into existence. You build it through your behavior as who? As a man. Your consistency and also your decision making. So a man who shows up and makes his woman feel protected without being asked, without needing a gold star for it, that man is operating at a different level. So because protection is not about what you say, it's about what you do every single day. That's as a man. Hopefully we are understanding each other when it comes to this first pillar of protection, a role that a man should play that's in a relationship. So let's keep going. Let's move to pillar number 2. That's what a man should do in a relationship instead of chasing moods, trying to understand what a woman thinks, what a woman is feeling. So pillar number 2 talks about now the part of where a man is supposed to do what? To provide. Now, provision is another one that people want to do what? To complicate. And I'm not just talking about money. Although, yes, a man who can financially provide removes one of the biggest stressors that's from a relationship. But providing from a man is bigger than what? Than a paycheck. Providing means that a man has vision. It means that a man has what? Has a plan. It means when your woman looks at you, she sees who? She sees direction. She sees purpose. She sees a man who knows where he's going and is actively moving towards it. So, for women, I do not care what anyone usually does what tells you. Women are naturally drawn to a man who has a mission. It's biology, it's history, it's instinct. So a man who wakes up every day with purpose, who is building something, who has goals and is chasing those goals, that man has an energy about him that no amount of emotional availability can do what? Can replace. And here is the part that most people miss. So when a man provides, he's removing that anxiety from the relationship. He's saying through his actions, not his words, I have got this. You don't have to do what? To worry. And that's what women deeply do what? Respect. Not the man who talks about his feelings for 3 hours, the man who handles his business. So that's the pillar number 2, the major role that as a man you are supposed to do what? To play in a relationship. The role of provision. The first role that we talked about earlier was about protection. You see, so far we have discussed the 2 major roles that a man is supposed to do what? To play in a relationship instead of wasting his time and energy trying to figure out what a woman is thinking or a woman is feeling. So the third pillar now, the third role that a man is supposed to focus more on instead of wasting energy in reading the moods of women is now ensuring there is effective communication in a relationship. Now, this is the one that trips people up the most. Because when people hear communication in the context of relationships, they usually immediately think of long emotional conversations, unpacking your childhood, sitting across from each other that's crying. That's not what I'm talking about. So for effective communication, for a man, it means being clear. It means saying that you mean. It means meaning what you do, what you say. It means following through your word. It means setting expectations so that nobody in the relationship is doing what? Is guessing. So when a man communicates clearly, when he can say, this is not okay with me, without yelling, without shutting down, without passive aggression, that's very, very powerful. When he can say, here is the plan, and then do the execution, that's communication. The man who communicates effectively has less drama in his life, not because he avoids conversations, but because his conversations have clarity, and the clarity usually kills confusion in a relationship, and the confusion is where most problems live. So those are the three major pillars or the roles that a man is supposed to do what? To be working on through his whole life while in a relationship. Number one, I talked about protection. That's providing protection to the family, that's to the wife. Then number two, providing that's in terms of resources, that's to the wife. Then number three, ensuring that there is a effective communication that's within the relationship. So that's it. So the three pillars, that's protect, provide, communicate. Ensure that you note these 3 points down. Thank you so much, Grizzly Fox. Okay, now let's talk about why men are burning energy in the wrong place. Of if a man is not performing these three roles, that's providing protection and ensuring there is effective communication in a relationship, it means this man is burning energy in doing wrong things. So let's discuss this part of why men are burning energy in the wrong place. So now here is where I want to get into a very real conversation, because this is the part that nobody wants to say aloud. So men today are burning out the energy in the wrong place, and it's costing them everything. That's now when we try to be so real. Let me paint a picture. So how many of you have been in a situation or know a man who has been in a situation where he spent hours, maybe days, trying to figure out why she is upset? She gave a one-word reply maybe to a text, or she has been quiet all evening, or she brought up something from 3 weeks ago of nowhere. And suddenly, now this man, this capable, intelligent man, is now completely consumed. He can't focus at work. He cannot sleep. He is replying conversations in his head that's trying to figure out what he did wrong now to his wife. I see you, yes. So almost every man has been there. Now, here is what I need you to understand, or here is what I need as men to get to understand. that mental energy that you usually spend decoding her mood, that's the same mental energy that could have gone into your business plan, into your workout, into your craft, into becoming the man that you are supposed to do what? To be. You cannot be a light and emotionally preoccupied at the same time. The two cannot coexist. It's not possible. Think about a surgeon. A surgeon walking into an operating room is not thinking about whether his partner is happy with him right now. Think about, for example, a pilot. A pilot landing a plane in a bad weather. He is not in his head about an argument that's now from last Tuesday. Then also think about an athlete that's in the final minute of a championship game. He is not decoding anybody's emotional state. High performance usually demands mental clarity, and the mental clarity is impossible when your mind is occupied chasing someone else's emotional weather. So from that, from the few examples that I have given, for example, a surgeon when he's going to perform an operation, this surgeon is not thinking about the argument that he had with his wife, you see. So he has to focus on what he's supposed to do. He cannot multitask. So that's why as men, you should never keep focusing on what your woman is feeling or how your woman is behaving. Just perform your roles, the three pillars that we talked about. That's providing, protecting, and effective communication. Then your life will be more peaceful. Now hear me very clearly. I'm not trying to say that do not care about your woman. Caring about her is part of the job, but there is a massive difference between caring about her and making her emotional state your full-time occupation. There is a difference between being present for her and losing yourself that's in her. So a man's job is not to feel everything that she feels. A man's job is to do what? To lead. While she feels, those are two completely different things. So, and when men confuse those two things, the whole relationship does what? That's it breaks down. Because here is what happens. When a man makes a woman's emotions, that's his mission, she stops seeing him as a leader. I know this is painful to some men, but it's very true. So when a man makes a woman's emotions his mission, she stops seeing him as a leader. Take note of that one. She starts seeing him as who? As a follower and not a leader anymore. So, and the women do not want to be followed by the man they are with. They want a man who can lead them. They want to be led. Even the most independent women at her core respects a woman who does what? Who leads. So now the question is not, how do I understand her better? The question is, am I showing up as the man I am supposed to be? Because when you are fully in your role, that's now protecting, providing, communicating clearly, a lot of emotional chaos resolve itself. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So anybody who has got questions, anybody who has got suggestions, just feel free and write them in the comments section. Oh, thank you, Dennis Mwangi, 8140. Welcome to the live. So if you have any comment, any suggestion, any idea on the topic that we are discussing today, feel free to write it in the comments section. Remember, what I'm trying to insist here today is that a man has three major roles in a relationship, and not focusing on what a woman is feeling or what a woman is thinking. And the three major roles, the three major pillars that I've talked about, if you are joining the life, they were, that's providing, protecting, and majorly effective communication. So let's talk about the difference between now caring and over functioning as a man. So some people might not understand that that's not the difference between this caring and over functioning. But now let's see the clear difference between the caring and over functioning. So, all right. I want to make something very clear right now, because I know some of you are thinking, okay, but this sounds like he's telling men to be cold. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Maybe some of the people are thinking that I'm trying to make men to be robots. No, and also trying to make men not to care, but no, that's not the case. The message that I'm trying to pass here is that I'm trying to that's encourage my fellow men. At least we get to focus on what's supposed to be done. That's providing protection and effectively communicating, and not caring about what women think and what they feel, because it's a wastage of time. So let's get the clear difference between caring and over functioning. Okay. So there is a difference between that's caring for your woman and over functioning for her. And over functioning is actually one of the most damaging things a man can do that's in a relationship. And most men do not even know when they are doing it. So let's give some examples where a man is over functioning. Grizzly Fox 17. Hello. So number one, the scenario where a man is over functioning and not caring. Okay. For caring part, this is where a man is listening when she talks about something that is bothering her. But now when it comes to over functioning, it's when a man spends 3 days trying to fix how she feels about a co-worker who annoyed her. Then now when a man cares, it's now when he checks that's on her genuinely. But now when a man over functions, this is when he sends 15 texts because she took an hour to reply, and now you are doing what? Spiraling. So a man who cares, it's when he is being there in a genuine moment of crisis. And now for a man who overfunctions, it's when he is restructuring his entire personality, his opinions, his preferences, so that she can do what? She can never experience a negative emotion around. So now that's the difference between that overfunctioning and the caring. So a man, you should not overfunction. So try as much as possible and know the role that you're trying to play in a relationship, that's in a marriage. So here is something that sounds counterintuitive, but it's absolutely very true. So when a man makes a woman that's his entire world, he actually becomes less attractive to her over time. I know this one is going to sound backwards. I know society tells you that the more you give, the more she will do what? She's going to appreciate you. But this is not how it works in reality. So a woman wants to feel like the man is with has a world of his own. He has his hobbies, he has his businesses to do what? To take care of. He has purpose, he has ambition, a direction he's moving in, a life that will exist and matter even without her in it. Because when a man has that, when he has a mission, she knows that his choice to be with her is a real choice, not desperation, not neediness, a genuine, a confident choice. So the man who can say, I love you and I have a life to run, that man is more magnetic to a woman. The man who says, you are my everything, tell me how I can fix everything for you. Over time, that man becomes exhausting. That's to be around because she didn't sign up to be your whole world. She signed up to be what? To be your partner. So men, carry your own weight. Have your own life. Show up for her without losing yourself. That's in the process. That's a very, very key statement. Show up for your wife. Show up for your woman without losing yourself in the process. Take note of that one. So, and that's balance. That's the real work. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments section so that we can get to answer. The ones that I'm able to answer, I can answer. So let me answer a few questions at least that are related unto today's topic of the three major roles of a man in a relationship. That's provision, protection, and effective communication. So someone is asking, but doesn't a woman need to feel heard? Okay, that's a very interesting question. Absolutely, 100% yes. And I never said otherwise, but here's the thing. You can listen to a woman. You can be present. You can acknowledge what she's saying. And you can still maintain your own frame. You can be present. You can acknowledge what she's saying. And you can still do what? Maintain your own frame. Take note of that one. Hearing her does not mean becoming her therapist. Hearing her does not mean you abandon your perspective and just agree with everything does what she feels. So you can hold space for her emotions while still being grounded in your own truth. That's not coldness. That's what we call emotional maturity. So here you are a woman, but ensure that you remain focused. You have direction as a man. So another question, what if she says, I am emotionally unavailable? You see, now a woman saying that the man is unemotionally available. Okay, this is a very big one. This is a big question. And I want you to ask yourself something honestly before you accept that label. Is she saying you are emotionally unavailable because you genuinely shut down, refuse to talk, and ice her out when things get hard? Because if that's the case, yes, that is something to do what? To work on. But this is important. Is she saying you are emotionally unavailable because you won't drop everything to chase her emotional highs and lows? Because you won't rearrange your whole day because she is in a mood? Because you maintain your composure instead of matching her energy when she is escalating? So those are the two different scenarios. One is a problem, the other is called having emotional discipline. So, and emotional discipline is not an availability. It's one of the highest forms of emotional intelligence a man can do what? A man can have. So someone else is asking, isn't this just an excuse that's for men not to grow emotionally? Great question. No, absolutely not. Emotional growth for a man looks like learning to regulate his emotions, not observing hers. A man who can stay calm when she's not calm. A man who can think clearly when the situation is emotional. That man is more emotionally mature than a man who just mirrors everything she does what she feels. So, emotional maturity for a man is not crying together every time something is hard. It's being the anger when things get what? Get stormy. It's keeping the ship steady. That's the work. That's the growth. So anybody with a question, feel free to bring it on. I can try and answer, do my part. At least I give my suggestion. Of course, I know my suggestion is not going to be the best, but at least it's going to do what? To give or to provide some answers. That's to your question. So, everything that we have talked about today comes back to one main thing. That's clarity. A man who is clear on his role is unstoppable. A man who knows that his job is to protect, to provide, and to communicate with precision, and who executes on those things consistently, that's providing protection and communication, that man does not have time to lose himself in emotional chaos because he is too busy building, too busy leading, too busy doing what? Becoming. And that's how a man is built. That's how a kingdom of a man is built. And now here is the thing. Women are not the enemy in this conversation. Please get me right. Women are not the problem. The problem is men who have lost the plot on who they are, who have been told by culture, that's by media, by people who do not have their best interest at heart, that shrinking themselves, of explaining themselves, chasing approval, and that's what it means to be a woman. But instead, you are losing yourself as a man. So, as a man, ensure you stick to your three main roles in your relationship, and also it applies to general life. That's provide, protect, and ensure effective communication. Those are the three pillars that are going to lead you through this life peacefully, and things get to remain. That's in order. So a good man shows up consistently, purposefully, without begging for what? For validation. A man protects her, provide for her, communicates clearly, that's with her, and then get out of your own head and go build something. So that's what a man does. He provides, he protects, and communicates clear, and then gets out to do what? To go and keep building the empire. He goes out to become someone that's to complete his main mission that's in this world. Now, before I let you go, I need a favor, and I mean this genuinely. So, today's topic is a bit sensitive, but very, very educative. So, let's be honest with each other, and without hate. And when we try to be very, very real with life, the key thing here, that's from today's conversation, as men, if you really try and start now, that's working towards the 3 pillars that we have talked about, then it's automatic. Your life is going to do what? To start taking a very different direction. So just start from the situation where you are. It doesn't matter whether right now you have been that nice man to a woman to the point where now she has started misusing you. Just start from the point where you are at the moment right now. Start building yourself, then try as much as possible and master the 3 things that you're supposed to do. That's provide, protect, and ensure there is effective communication that's in your relationship. So this is your boy, a real gentleman himself, Nyambuga. Ensure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and let's keep learning from each other. Hopefully you are going home with something today, especially for men. Today's topic is top notch, and if you cannot take something from this conversation, then you I don't know what I can say. And for women, you can still advise your men, just to talk to them, tell them, okay, I listened to a given life, and this gentleman came up with the 3 pillars, the 3 things that a man is supposed to do in a relationship. And the 3 things are to provide, protect, and ensure there is effective communication, rather than focusing on trying to figure out why my woman today has a bad mood, why my woman today is not talking with me, why my woman today is not texting back. That's just bullshit, you see. So focus on what you're supposed to do, and then things usually start falling in place. So thank you so much for being in this life. I appreciate so much, guys, and let's keep pushing the channel by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, then let's keep supporting each other. Thank you so much, and have a good time, guys. Bye.